Hey, I'm Z, this is my bench, and welcome to Z's Bench. This is the first episode of this. Well, I say episode, it's not like gonna be like a series, it's just gonna be me and my bench with a whole bunch of stuff, that kind of thing. Yeah, today I've got something kind of interesting. Well, I say kind of interesting, as in that I don't know anything about it, other than the company that made it, around when it was made, and some of the internal components. But that doesn't give me enough information to accurately tell what's inside. So let's just start by showing you the actual piece of technology that I've got over here. And yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to use this as its full unit, so I'm probably just going to do like a teardown and just kind of use it for parts, because there are some very interesting components inside. I've had a bit of a look already, so yeah, this won't exactly be a first look into this, because I've already peeked my head in a bit. Yeah, so yeah, let's have a look at it. What you see in front of you is a GV planar temperature control unit. As I said, I don't know exactly what it does. I know what some of the components are, especially that you can see in front of you. But actually looking inside of it, I'm not really familiar with a lot of it. The parts that I can look at, I can't really get schematics for. Why don't I pop this on my bench and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So, this is the top of the three. There are three distinct panels, and this is the top one, it's the biggest one. And yeah, it's also probably the heaviest because it's got heavy stuff in it, obviously. So, what we're looking at, so this is that like black dial, this is the bar graph thing, this is the rectangular panel, these are all of the buttons along here, and this is that like gauge thing on the front, this is the voltmeter, and these are the fuses, and that's one heck of a potentiometer. I'll show you guys properly when I get it open. But yeah, so I actually first want to start with this thing. It should be held in place with this ring, but that's not happening. Actually, I think it would be probably easier if I were to unscrew literally anything else. Here's my screwdriver. Should have a small screwdriver. Kind of just going through all of my stuff and reorganizing it, so yeah, that's why I move it frazzled. As to my stuff location, yeah, because I don't think that's the wrong type of screwdriver anyway. Now to start removing these. So, the unit that I have gotten out is a Edgecombe Peebles Limited Atracol. I don't know if you can see, but here it says seconds, and then this is a dial you can rotate. Yeah, so I'm curious to get this working eventually. Probably not going to get it working right now for the reason that it requires 240 volts at 50 hertz. That's a bit much for my liking. I'm not a huge fan of working with mains voltage. Last time I did, it kind of went bang. But that's a story for another time. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly put all of these screws back in their mounts, and then we'll get on to the next piece. Next is just this little display unit. It uses filament bulbs. I actually took one out, and I don't know where I've put it. I accidentally blew one of the bulbs while testing, so yeah, that's why that's why I don't have 2 bulbs in here. But it says gas on. If I can just find a way to shine some light through it. So I have a pen light here. Just gonna make sure this is the right way around. As you can see, there's gas on. Very bright, this pen light. So, it probably lends credence to the thought that this is some sort of gas control unit, because its 3 systems actually are the gas control module, and that's what this is. Then you've got the substage module, which I have no clue what that means. And then you've got your vacuum module. And the vacuum module is the very small one at the bottom. Yeah, so you've got this. This was just so I could catch the screws that fell, because I'm terrible. Next. Fuses. I don't really need to talk about fuses. It's a very standard fuse holder. You've got this one, a 750 milliamp. It's got the rating written on it. Just trust me, it says 750 milliamps. Which is, honestly, that's not much when it comes to fuses and On the front it says 75 amps, but the fuse itself says 750 milliamps. There are 2 fuses. This one on the front says 3 amps, and the actual fuse inside is a 3 amp fuse from RS. I'll potentially test continuity of these later, especially if I try and use these in a project. It's always good to test continuity of fuses before you go putting them in things, otherwise they might have blown and you wouldn't even know it. Take a look at this thing. It's very interesting. I'm not sure how to remove it. I mean, all of this piping lends credence to the fact that it's some sort of fluid system, whether that be liquid or gas. But at the moment, since these are probably really old, I'm basically just going to cut them. Just going to cut the pipes. Tubing. Come on. Yep. And then, I don't need to cut this, but just save space. Oop, let's not go jamming my box cutter into the potentiometer. Might damage something. I think it's a potentiometer. It looks like a potentiometer. Oh, wow, cool. That detaches the entire unit. I love being right. So yeah, we've got the front panel. Just gonna put this to the side at the moment. Actually, I'll put that down here. And you've got this thing, which is the actual rotometer. Apparently the gas used in here is air. It says air on it. It's by probably CFH. Oh no, it's by Rotometer Manufacturing Co., which is fun. Yeah. It's got a serial number of 813934. Don't know what that means. On to the next piece. Kind of want to leave these until later because I love these and I want to talk a lot about them, but I don't want to talk about them all at once right now. Let's go with the voltmeter. bulbs look like they should just pop off. Jiggle, jiggle. Do they have any means of mounting? No. Oh. This might be a bit harder to remove than I initially thought. Yeah. I'm not immediately sure how to remove the voltmeter, actually. So that's interesting. Let's move to something else then. Let's go with this potentiometer. Let's see if I can remove it. Has a grub screw. I can't get the potentiometer off either. This is fun. I guess let's just go to the switches. These are similar to your, I think your Series 90 bulbs. I forget who they're by, but they're like the people who, but they're like the bulbs that are like on mission control displays and such. So you've got your front cover, your color plate. I think these color plates are probably cheaper than like gel, the bulbs, so they're doing it that way. Then you've got two of these bulbs that I don't actually know which type of bulbs they are, but they're very interesting. And I want to get more of them so I can have replacements. Oh, okay, so they all kind of come out as one unit. You'll see when I pop them out. Something is stopping me. It's a wire. You know what? Never gonna need them like this. Just cutting all the wires. You've got your set of 3. They are by Micro USA. Oh, Honeywell. They are by Honeywell. They are probably Micro USA switches by Honeywell. Aren't exactly great, I must confess. Honestly, I don't even know if I've actuated them at all. Like, ever. But yeah, so these are all the switches. This doesn't surprise me, but like, they're all kind of wired together. Oh! Okay. So they... Okay. So I'm beginning to understand. And they're designed to clip into these together. I'm probably going to make a full video on these at some point. No promises on when. I can never make promises on when I'm going to make anything, ever. Mostly because I don't know when, to be honest. These are very nice, and I want to see if I can fix these up. Get the bulbs lighting up, that kind of thing. Yeah. For a moment, I'll just... I'm just gonna leave these until later, because I know I can probably fix them. I just need to take them apart to do that, and don't really want to do that in silence on camera right now. So, what's next? This potentiometer. It's... I think this is a potentiometer. I mean, I'll Google anything I don't know to make sure. Well, not Google anything that I don't know to make sure. I'll Google all of the parts later, and I'll put on the screen whether this is, in fact, potentiometer. Okay, looks like it is, because it says in the back, 100 ohms wire wound, well, wire wind bit. I think this is so that you can unscrew it, then like tighten it so that you can't change it later. Okay, so this is a semi-adjustable one where you want to be able to lock adjustment so that something doesn't happen. Okay, so we've got this. So we've got this on the right, which is a power plug. It literally got like mains voltage from the wall. Actually, let's pop this on its front so we can take a look underneath. Yes. Okay, you've got two very big screws. Yep. For this one. Here we go. We've got this. It's a solenoid, which doesn't surprise me. It is by the brand Lucifer. It's just written on the side. That's delightful. You've probably busy or two. Like, this is for actuation, and it runs on 250 volts. God damn it, this is a high voltage system. Have I mentioned how much I don't like working with high voltage systems? But every project I seem to take seems to get me another high voltage system. It's delightful. And not at all irritating. Okay, next is this little thing. I think it's a relay. If it is a relay, it is horribly unprotected and potentially dangerous. But that's the way the system likes it, I guess. Oh, this is definitely old. Yep, this looks like a relay. It's got a lot of things, but it's definitely a relay. It's got all of the... So you've got your contact points at the bottom, you've got your big powerful electromagnet, you've got this arm, you've got the leaf triggers, you've even got the distinct clicky noise. Yeah, so I'm fairly confident in saying that this is a relay. There's a date code on this. 1969. So, yeah, this is the same year as the Apollo missions, which is, well, not all of the Apollo missions, the Apollo 11 mission, specifically. The reason I bring that up is that I love the Apollo era aesthetic, really. I love the way everything looks. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna remove everything else because it just looks like a couple of basic components. I do have coordination issues, so that might not be too helpful, ultimately. Oh, please don't tell me there's a nut. Oh, there's a nut. Great. Lovely. I love that. Threaded on the underside. There's a nut and a washer. Lovely. Wonderful. Love that for it. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. I don't know. Just generally not a fan of when things are, like, fastened through other things instead of having threaded. Other than being threaded inside. I typically like to do things like this, because if I don't, I am going to forget. Just trying to see if I can separate them. Probably can't with my bare hands. And that's probably a good thing. Yeah, can't see my expression there, but I was making a very good one. Next is this bottom one. It's a transformer. Doesn't look very robotic. Probably lucky for me. Wouldn't really want it to be a robot in disguise. Let's see. Yeah. So, you connect it between 0 and either 205, 225, or 245 volts. And then you get a solid 6.3 volts, 1.8 amps on the out. That's really neat. And it's got more branding on it. RS. I saw that branding on something else. I think it was the fuses. So yeah, that's really interesting. I'll show you. Yeah, along the top, different. I'm probably going to picture. There we go. There we go. And that was there. We've got the transformer up. I'm running out of places to put things on my bench. Let's disconnect something that's probably the heaviest part of it, but it's very easy to disconnect. It's this thing. I know how to disconnect these, it's just a terrible angle. There we go. That off. Slide that off. This is a very interesting unit. This whole box comes with 2 of them. And I have no clue what this does. A whole bunch of information here. I've tried Googling it. Don't worry, I've tried Googling it. Haven't been able to find anything. And then that. I'll probably do a more in-depth look at this on its own. Right now I just kind of want to get into everything individually and just kind of strip it out. Inside, you're left with the voltmeter, so I can probably see if... Oh! There we go. It's just clipped in place. Just had to pry it free. Just had to pry free from the latches. Yeah, it probably has a second set of latches. There we go. Now that I've seen this latching mechanism, it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, so this is just your standard voltmeter. On the top it says 300 volts AC, bunch of numbers I don't know. So I know what it's supposed to measure, but I don't know. Maybe it's got all that it needs inside, but other than that I'm not sure. If I have a project in need of something like that, I will be sure to look at it. And then finally, the last probably useful component from this, other than this plug, is this potentiometer that I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to get rid of. Worst case, I could drill the pin out, but that would be bad. That would be very bad. Let's not do that. Don't want to go breaking late 60s, early 70s stuff, so annoyingly, kind of have to keep this here. But yeah, I was hoping to be able to detach this panel, so this part from the front panel, but I can't. So yeah, I enjoyed disassembling that for you guys, and we'll look at either the second panel or the other 2 panels in the next episode. This is probably getting kind of long. Yeah. See ya.
A special thanks to all of my patrons over at patreon.com/zbench. Join them today.
So, quickly, I know I literally just signed off the video, but I managed to get the knob off. Yeah, I just fiddled around with it for a bit, and I did break it a little, like, it did snap a bit more, unfortunately, but at least I got it off. Sorry if the audio quality on this part is terrible. It is because I'm not bothered to actually have my audio on anymore, but did it. Got the front panel off. The front panel is one big panel now, which is good. Let's take a look at this. Sorry, mind my language. Okay, so this is a... Oh! Okay. This is not a potentiometer. It's a variable... it's a variable transformer, I think. Yeah. Because you've got your input of 230 volts, then you've got torques of like coils on here, and then you've got outputs of 0 to 250 volts. Wow! Can't believe I have one of these! Maybe if we get into the other one, we'll see that I actually own 2 of them. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Sorry for this brief, immediate interlude. Very interesting. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed watching me disassemble this stuff, because I enjoy this kind of stuff. At least looking at it, that kind of thing. Yeah. So this wire, I'll probably see if I can use it in projects. That kind of thing. Yeah. Oh, I will remove just while I'm here. I'm doing this. I know why that's not working, because the screwdriver is too tiny. And I put the other one up here. Sorry that this, at the end of this video, is a bit janky. But to be honest, I'm very much just getting into the groove of things, so this is gonna be janky for a while. Hey, maybe one day we'll look back on this and be just like, this is where it all started. And how bad was it back then? Glad it's so much better now. Or maybe it's just as terrible as it is now. Heck, maybe it's even worse. Do need to mind my swearing, because I want to be an informative channel, and I don't know, swearing just isn't on the table for that. It's not that I don't swear, and such in my day-to-day life. As you can tell by me swearing in